hours is like the minimum I like to stream, right? I feel like anything less than 3 hours and you barely even get to build up the viewership. I think 3 to 5 hours is like the real sweet spot for like casting. I think like 4 to 5 hours is like the real sweet spot. 6 hours is when it starts to get a bit like, oh my god, we're still casting. And 3 hours is when it's like, well, you know, this was good, but I could have done with a bit more. So I like these qualifiers, but I'd love to see just a few more players to lengthen it up a bit. That said, maybe we'll get some lengthy games here. As we do have to the top left-hand side, our blue Zerg player from Jin Air Green Wings. Give it up if you're cheering on Rogue. And the bottom right, our red Protoss player, Super. Coming up here and excited to see what will come out of this best of 3. Super again, we saw him playing some pretty aggressive games against Lacira in the round of 8. That was actually quite a while ago now. Poor Super has been waiting a little while to play these matches. But yeah, we kind of saw Super playing pretty aggressively, you know, some pretty, you know, aggressive strats and so on, so kind of intrigued to see what comes from this next as we get going. I'm just going to see this probe moving around the top left-hand side. A couple of drones on the way out. Nexus will drop down on the natural expansion as well. So yeah, getting this set up to roll, and the cybernetics core drops on through. Obviously, we're starting on King's Cove. Nice large map. Intrigued to see just how this goes for Super, because obviously with his aggression in the previous games, is he going to stay aggressive, or is there kind of another plan here? It's going to be a tough one to call. So yeah, do you have the probes just continuing up on the Nexus? Robo facility on the way out here from Super in the main, so getting that up and running, as we do see the probe here just to the front from Super, moving around a little bit. Hatchery on the third base, and again, a couple of queens coming through as well. Robo facility about halfway done. So that robo-based opener for the moment. The adept here from Super, by the way, just going to go shading up to the upper left-hand side. Now just going to be seeing the link speed from Rogue. Starting in the main base. Third hatchery going to be finishing in a few moments as well. It's just all of this getting going as, again, Super is moving around with that adept. Again, there's our warp prism coming on in. Just going to get that corona boosted out as it'll give the high ground vision to push this overlord away and pick up that kill as well. Stalk wants to kind of be a bit to the right so it can push it to the left initially. If he goes over here, I don't think there's a way it can actually get away, but I guess it doesn't really matter then. Warp prism any second then will be showing on up, and again, just interested to see. Okay, it's an observer as a follow-up, so that's already kind of saying, okay, this is not going to be that much of an all-in as a follow-up here. Instead, more likely to be a bit more of a just sort of macro-based play. Yeah, as you can see, it's pretty much impossible for that overlord to properly get away. There you go. Stalker just has to dance around for a while. Obviously, the longer it dances around for, the more time it takes for the Warp Prism to start going across the map. There's an Immortal, actually, so maybe that will start to tell us a bit of something. It's this sort of timing now where we should see the gases on the natural. Okay, so maybe we will actually see a bit of aggression here out of Super. 2 more gates being added onto the 2 at the front, so that's 4 gates. Now, so the lack of gases, again, that kind of gives you away. I kind of thought with the Observer after the Prism, this might be a bit more, again, you know, kind of have that kind of macro edge to it. But no, just looks like we will be getting a straight-up Immortal push from Super here in the next few moments. Lair on the way in the main base from Rogue, but he already has the Roach Warren. So he can already build Roaches here in the very early stages. Yeah, a lot of Roaches on the way up at the moment, so getting those Roaches on the way. Again, there's the 2 gateways in the main. Okay, Super is starting a third Nexus, and he does now start gases on the natural as well. Okay, I mean, so maybe like a bit of pressure with the Immortals. I mean, he makes a third Immortal as well, though. But it is gases, you know, the Nexus. These are all minerals that last time he put into extra gateways. So it feels like this is maybe not a completely committed attack. And maybe just, maybe like a bit of a later attack that he's setting up for, because he is continuing to build probes too. Wow, okay. Did feel like it was going to be pretty committed though, right? I was going to see these Immortals pressing through, a few of these creep teamers getting picked off. Immortals pressing forwards, and again it's going to be seeing a couple of Zerglings getting picked off there as well, and just going to be seeing the Immortals continue to do quite a bit on that top side. I mean, Rogue's just going to turn this into aggression of his own. He's going to say, cool, your Immortal's out of position, I've got Ling's Ravages across the map. So Rogue's going to be the one that actually commits to the attack in the end here. He's going to go running in, he's already going to trap maybe a few of these sentries. And they were able to escape away, but there's still Lings coming through. Again, the Immortals across the map are not going to help in this at all. There's no energy for recall just yet, apparently, because the Immortals are just stood over here. Super is, well, kind of, I'd say the word is floundering at the moment, right? He's just not doing much with them at all. Rogue actually does very well for the first few units. Now, the Immortals are coming back, so they are going to be a part of this continued defense. We have got Zerglings being picked away at here. Ling's trying to break through this pylon on the high ground. Another few corrosive bowels, and we'll see that pylon taken down. And Warp Prism moving forwards with a couple of Immortals inside. A few more Stalkers going to start warping in. Lings and Ravagers on the way up too. Those ones are just releasing by the moment, but seems as though Rogue is kind of done as well. Overlords, he's gone into drones. Roach speed also, so it looks like he's kind of, again, just done with the initial kind of swallow units. I mean, obviously he still has these units, he will still try to fight, and he will find some sentries here. Again, some of the Immortals just not in this fight right away. One was up the ramp, one was in the Warp Prism. Now there's a couple coming in from that top side. Rogue is going to be chased down as these Immortals will look to see what they can do. Corrosive Bowels, well placed. Nice save on the Immortal, but two Stalkers warped into those bowels as well. So Super will survive here, and he's only a few workers down. Army supplies still even, so all said and done, I actually think Super's kind of okay. The main thing that Rogue killed was sentries, and while that's nice, he did lose a lot of Lings and so on in the process. He kept a lot of his Ravagers alive, but 3,000 resources lost to 2,500, and you've got to remember that Super was actually mining pretty well throughout this as well. You can see he's actually had the income advantage throughout the game, because Rogue was the one who kind of cut workers a little bit more harshly than Super did. So Super's actually in a pretty good spot, all things said and done. Just gonna see the two Immortals drop it down and try to see what else will happen. Spire starts up in the main base of Rogue. So again, that Spire up and running again. +1 attack on the Forge. Blink about to complete on the Twilight Council. Super's warping in a lot of units. I kind of like the idea of this, though. And that Spire's is not going to come into play for Rogue because he's got a lot of gas that he's not been able to put to use just yet. I'll tell you what, I think Rogue's just kind of dead. He didn't do enough of the early attack. Doesn't cancel that hatchery. And as Super moves up this ramp, it looks very good for him. More Ravager's going to finish warping in. Roach Ravager going to start pushing down the ramp. A sentry gets picked off at the front. A lot more units here from Rogue. He is up at 70 workers. If he can hold this off, then fantastic. He can make something happen with it. A few Stalkers up the left-hand side. Again, the Ravager's pressing forwards. On the right, we see the Stalkers blinking over too, and, well, we're going to continue pressing down. Again, another few corrosive valves dropping on those Stalkers, etc. This Observer even being pushed away. Rogue's going to kind of hold on, but it's not like he's getting into a better spot. He's going to throw down a Nidus during this, so you can counter-attack perhaps. Ooh, an interesting blink in. A lot of good corrosive valves layering the Immortals in the background, but again, the question is there just too much damage output on this Protoss army? And I think there might be. The Ravager count is dropping quickly here. Those Biles are actually just somehow going, like, they're outlining the Immortals rather than actually connecting on them. Stalkers now have dropped, and reinforcements will start to warp in. It's the Immortals that are still alive here, and obviously with the Warp Prism still able to micro, dodges away from the corrosive Biles set up. Now a lot of drones have gone down as well, and that's going to make things very difficult for Rogue to recover from here. I mean, it's just these Immortals left. They can dance for a while. Another corrosive Bile connects, though. Immortals getting a few more kills. Stalkers warping in as the Warp Prism goes very far back to be able to warp in safely. Immortals doesn't get saved by the Warp Prism. There's one more very low health Immortal here that will just survive as the barrier comes through, and it's enough from Super to take game number 1. Fashion towards the end there. Let's see what happens as we go into game 2. To the top right-hand side, our blue Protoss player. This is Super. Up against the the red Zerg in the bottom left-hand side. It is a Rogue. Okay, so game 2. Getting this set to rolls. We'll see obviously what's going to happen. This is a map where obviously pushing with Immortals aggressively for like a full-on 2-base all-in is definitely a lot more viable right away. So that's definitely something we could perhaps see here from the start. Yeah, what's up in the chat, guys? Everyone feeling good today? Everyone having a good time? Like I said, after this, we've got a best of 5 to cast for you, and that'll be our action for the day done and dusted. Tomorrow, though, I'm very excited about this. Tomorrow, we start off our brand new tournament series, StarCraft Sundays. It starts up tomorrow from 4 p.m. CEST. I'm really excited for this. Me and Take TV have obviously had this in the works for a while. So, yeah, really excited to get this underway and to launch that going into the future. So please do check that out. That's StarCraft Sundays. That's going to be from tomorrow, 4 p.m. CEST. Actually have a double stream tomorrow. We're going to be streaming the Masters Cup qualifier as well. So we actually have 2 tournaments back to back pretty much. So going to be a fun day of action tomorrow. Man, I'm just so excited for StarCraft Sundays though. You guys, we've really been planning this for a long time. We're very excited to bring a bit more prize money into what is usually a weekly cup because me and Take TV are working together as well. So it should be really good. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to it. So hopefully you guys feel the same. Again, should be super awesome. Really should be. So yeah, looking forward to that as we are going to get this started on up. Just going to be seeing the Overlord here from Rogue coming through the top side of the map. And again, just this Adept on the bottom, through the center from Super as well. Going to be pushing in over on the left-hand side, so the Adept shades forwards here. The Queen is going to be able to push this Adept away. Robo facility from Super, starting up and about to finish in the main. Again, when you open Robo every game, it makes it very difficult to know what exact kind of, you know, build you're going to go for. That's not good. That's straight up DFC from us. Yeah. Korean server has been just a little bit finicky lately, guys. Do apologize. If we actually had, it's not as bad as it used to be, where we had like constant stuttering, but it's yeah, definitely been funky. What's up, Hearthstone? Coming with the host. What's up, everyone from the Hearthstone stream? How you guys doing? Super is you guys are tuned into a Protoss matchup right now. Protoss versus Zerg. Super up 1-0 as well. Not only that, though, we also have Creator in the grand final, so it's going to be more Protoss coming in. So what's up, guys? And Hearthstone with the 43-month resub. Thank you so much for the support, dude. Not even a mean message attached. Wow, that's when you know Hearthstone's trying to make moves. Never Sentry going to be finishing here. That Warp Gate going to be done in a moment on the Cybercore. So Warp Gate will complete. Again, just a couple more Overlords coming up, a few more drones as well. That lag going to be finished in a moment or so. And again, the Immortal going to be popping out from Super in a moment or so. Going to be jumping up into that Prism. And yeah, going to be moving around a little bit, try and see where it can get to. Adept the Stalker. Gathering together here as Rogue. Here's with these Zerglings just having a little bit of a look around, trying to see what is going to be happening. Gateways from Super on the way up, so getting those started as well. And yeah, just going to see the Warp Prism in the main base is going to be with a couple of Immortals starting to move down to the bottom left-hand side. Stalker working its way through the Overlords. I mean, I didn't mention this too much, but actually, Rogue got run for a pretty early Roach Roar, and he's got a few Roaches up already. He's got the lair down too, but hasn't put it to use. This time, obviously, we see Super with 7 Gateways going to be on the way in total, so that's going to be a lot of units pushing across the map. This time, there really is a very committed 2-base attack. You know, he's the same as what we saw in that earlier series against Lysira. Is the Lings force a lot of force fields there. That's great. But the 3 gases, one of these gases not taken. Yeah, But yeah, Warp Prism in the center of the map with the Immortal inside, by the way, is just been having to pull back. He actually lost an Immortal too, oh my god. Super is just having a bit of a disaster at the moment. Everything is going just a little bit wrong at the moment here, so... Well, as soon as press forward, we're going to see the sentries coming through the center. That Immortal drops down as well. This is pretty tough. This is pretty tough as we see that Overseer just flying around the top side. A few more Stalkers warping in, a couple of the Zealots, and well, the Zerglings are just going to come streaming forward, going to get a full surround on the sentries. That's not really where you want to be using your force fields. Pops the Guardian Shield. I'm not sure if that was really even the issue for those sentries there. There was no ranged attacks even coming on them. I mean, those Immortals are just completely abandoned here. I mean, this is just, again, complete and utter disaster. The Warp Prism is down, and Rogue is actually going to get cleaned up kind of in the center, but he's got 11 more Roaches on the way. Super has no Immortals left, has to rebuild the Warp Prism before he can really continue this attack, and that should just give Rogue the breathing room to set up a full-on defense against this now. I was going to see those Lings coming through. Again, a little bit of a surround. Stalker's getting caught on the top side. Roach and the Ravager able to pick up the sentry there, and we are just going to be seeing again a few more Stalkers, a few more Zealots through the center of the map. They're going to be able to pick off that Overseer, so Overseer will fall. Again, just this army of Rogue gathering up between the natural and the third base. This Overlord will go down too. So as the Overlord goes down, and we're just going to be seeing another few Stalkers, another few Zealots continuing to warp in here. Roach speed continuing up on that natural expansion as we just see again. The Lings, the Roaches, the Ravagers continue to press on forwards. Just going to be seeing the Zealots taking quite a bit of damage, and again, now this is just pure gateway units, right? There's no strength in this army. There's not Immortals chunking down Roach after Roach after Roach or anything. So it looks like Rogue probably will have a defense here for this game number 2. Yeah, it looks like we're getting lucky today, getting to game number 3 in both of our semi-finals. I'm a fan. Warp Prism goes down with the Queens, and that really is just that end point already, basically, is... Well, I mean, now I just see Stalkers kind of stuck in the side here. I mean, the Stalkers don't have blink or anything, right? So... very much as we kick this off into game number 3 of the series. To the bottom right hand side from Jinne, Green Wings, our red Zerg player, it's Rogue. And the top left, our blue Protoss is Super. And game 3 of this series, looking to see what's going to happen here. There's a couple of drones on the way out. Third natural hatchery dropping down. Very early stages of this, just getting established as we begin with. How's everyone doing out in the chat? Again, please do check out that Matcherino page, ! Matcherino in the chat will give you the link through to the Matcherino page, where you can, of course, find a few different ways to support. So yeah, please do check that out, guys. Again, it goes a long way to helping. So much appreciated as we kick this off. Overlord of Rogue heading into the top left-hand side. Kind of intrigued to see how we're going to get this to go. See the Stargate setting up in the main, and third hatchery from Rogue going to start up as well. Obviously, we see Super really changing things up here with the Stargate. I mean, we've seen him go in Robo Facility every single game so far, so this is really kind of out there and just completely different to what we had previously, so completely changing it up. So the Stargate going to be completing in the next couple of moments. Speed coming in on that spawning pool, so getting that ready to roll. He has a couple of drones on the way out. And again, it's Adept of Super just pulling back up towards the upper left-hand side. The Overlord here of Rogue going to be moving through as well. And again, just those few Zerglings from Rogue setting up there on the natural. Gateway going to complete on the wall off the Phoenix, picking its way through the Overlord. obviously, we do get a nice scout for Rogue. He gets to see, obviously, knows the Phoenix, but obviously even getting to see the Stargate too, knows it's an Oracle follow-up, because there are some tricky builds, actually, where you go Phoenix, and then just straight into the Robo, and you're all in, you just never build the Oracle. It's going to be the Oracle into what seems to be a pretty typical Twilight Robo follow-up into, obviously, then the Templar Archives, and you can go into an Archon drop to really apply further pressure. It's really nice to see Super doing something different here, because obviously he is kind of, again, fairly new back in the scene, kind of, so it's really nice to see him opening just, again, differently, and you know, showing us a few different builds in these PvZs, because it is at that point now where we've just seen a lot of Robo openings from him. It's like, well, is the only thing you can do, build that, you know, build up some of the aggressive strats or so on. But no, he looks as though he's got some more macro-focused stuff under his belt as well as the Robo. Going to start Chrono boosting out of this Warp Prism, so Warp Prism on the way through. We're going to see getting a couple of extra gateways in the Templar Archives dropping into the main base. So you see the Probe dropping down the Nexus over here. The Adept from Super as well is going to be able to pick up this Zergling. And Templar Archives dropping down about halfway done. Still this Adept from Super. Two of them pulling back to the upper left-hand side. The Lings pressing forwards as well. They are actually going to try and just jump in on those Adepts, but they're not quite going to find an entry point, unfortunately. Powerful turn starts to pick away the Zerglings once again. The Lings just do a loop around, full scout. Rogue's going into the Nidus network. He's even going to get a Baneling Nest down with this, so... Okay, cancels the Baneling Nest. He's just going to go straight up Link Queen Nidus. Now, he doesn't have an Overlord or anything in the base. He does have this Overseer moving to the top side. Maybe the first Nidus could just come in the other side of this wall off or so. I guess we'll see in a moment. Maybe he's not in a rush to place it down. He could actually, I mean, we saw it earlier, right? Maybe Nidus right here. But Simp's held off a build like this already once today. He held off the build of Lysira that did this, so it's kind of the same map as well. Two Archons on the way, and I think that's one of the big things. Archon's obviously going to be extremely good against this. The Overseer comes through in towards the main. Just because it's so Ling heavy. Now, Rogue on 50 drones. Let's see how this goes. Nidus into the main base. Warp Prism is instantly recalled back home as well. I mean, again, kind of the right decision. Yeah, first Nidus is going to be denied by an Immortal too, so first Nidus... What is that for the second Nidus, though? It's like right next to the first one. Is that really ever going to work? I feel Rogue's been extremely hopeful of that as... Well, this isn't working so well for him at the moment. Super's getting into a pretty good spot here. Now he's going to try Nidus out the front. See, I like the way that Lysira went for this. He Nidused over to the right side so you could get rid of the third base initially, and then when that was a distraction, boom, you start Nidus in the main and the natural. Thing is, Rogue doesn't really have any vision here at the moment, and if these units come through, he is going to try and transfuse up the Nidus, and he will go for this, though, so he's going to take the fight, but I feel like he's fighting against a lot of units that are very good against this. Lings are just streaming out to try and find something of us around, but it's not going to work. Super is going to fight